Hey everybody, I'm Ben Yee.
I'm Elissa Stein, and I'm going to surprise Ben with some questions about judges and how judges work in this country. Because we now have a judge who's just confirmed to the Supreme Court who is not impartial.
Crazy Kavanaugh.
Crazy Kavanaugh. That's a great, I've heard him called many things, but Crazy Kavanaugh works for me. But I always thought in our three branches of government that courts were impartial.
Yeah.
Delusional, when I was 8. But that's what I always thought, that you go to, a judge is not taking either side, they're just sort of this voice of reason looking at a case.
Right, yeah, that's the idea, I guess.
That's the idea. And now we have a Supreme Court justice who is highly partisan. Highly partisan. His testimony last week was just sort of this rant and rave about...
You'll pay for this?
The Clintons. It's the Clintons'
George
fault.
Soros.
I know. Like, it was crazy. Again, you feel like you're in the Truman Show, and how can this be real? It seems like a reality show.
No.
But there's talk about he won't last that long, he can be impeached. And so I'm wondering, can you impeach a judge? And what happens if a judge commits a crime? Like, what if it turns out that there are all these facts about that he did assault Dr. Ford, or some other thing comes up from his past where there, a statute of limitations hasn't already ended, or something like that? What happens if there's a judge in power who's been confirmed, and then something happens from his past or his prejudice or whatever? How do you get rid of a lifetime appointment?
Thank goodness I read a lot. Otherwise I might be stumped on this.
That's why I asked you, but I figured you would know the answer.
Yeah, as it turns out, the Constitution...
You generally know the answer.
The Constitution contemplates removal of people from judgeships as it does for basically all other officials, which is high crimes, misdemeanors. So if somebody commits a crime and it's high enough, then they can be removed. Now, what constitutes a high crime is up to Congress. So what would happen is you'd have an impeachment. And I feel like sometimes people conflate impeachment with the act of removing. It is not. The impeachment is the trial. So the House of Representatives, which the Democrats are potentially poised to gain control of in the midterms, the House would issue articles of impeachment, which are basically, they run an investigation which looks into the facts of whatever case they think might exist. And they refer those articles of impeachment to the Senate for the trial and say, guys, we found this stuff and we think you should put this person on trial.
Okay, so at the moment, that will never happen because Republicans run everything. And even if the Democrats take the House, if they have to bring it to the Senate, Mitch McConnell will be like, shut up.
Right, and so the Senate then would have to, the Senate would have to go through the process of the impeachment.
Would they have to? I mean, could McConnell just say, I don't think that this is worthwhile, I'm not wasting my time? Because he just does whatever he wants to anyway.
No, but they'd probably move it very quickly to a vote, and it requires a 2/3 majority to remove somebody.
Oh, I think that he could, So basically, unless we have the House and the Senate, there's no way, and the same with the president as well, there's no impeachment happening. Unless there's
the impeachment could happen. The removal probably won't happen.
Got it.
But the thing about the impeachment is, in the process of the impeachment, the House can do things like subpoena records. So I spoke to a member of Congress actually just the other night who has some insight into this. Oh, I don't know. They're around. Go to your local Democratic clubs. And what I was told was, so in a situation like this, what they would do is first thing they do is subpoena the FBI report, which only senators could see. They just subpoena the report, get the FBI report, and then release it. And then the biggest problem here is that the investigation into any impeachment or any other thing that Congress wants to look into is done by congressional staff. They don't have, say, the resources of the FBI at their disposal. So it becomes very taxing for the chamber to do these things. Although in theory, I suppose, next time they pass a budget, they could allocate a butt ton of money to their investigations.
Okay. So it's a I think that we all hang on to these, these wishful thoughts. Like, well, maybe there's a way to get him out of office, and it seems like it's actually really difficult.
There's definitely a way to get him out of office. It's called elections. And what we might hope for in an impeachment proceeding, if you couldn't get the Senate to take action to remove, would be simply to bring to light everything that is currently concealed. So the FBI report on Kavanaugh, Trump's tax returns.
Trump's tax returns, people, we still haven't seen his tax returns. And God help me, I am sure when they come out, this will all make a lot more sense.
It could, but that's the sort of thing you get when you have control of a chamber.
I think we have to wrap up.
Okay, but
Before
the
we run out of
legislature has the power to do things like subpoena and investigate, and that's what makes it a co-equal branch of government. The executive can't tell it what to do.
Right. So we're going to wrap up, as with everything we say, by saying vote.
Vote!
And Jerry Nadler, our congressman, will be the head of the
Judiciary
Committee, which is amazing because he will, he's a good guy.
On any articles of impeachment, he would be the
guy.
one leading that
Right.
committee.
And even if it's not articles of impeachment, even if he just needs to requisition documents and things,
Yes.
he would be the guy to do it.
He would
So
be.
yeah, let's get Jerry Nadler in a position of power.
So vote and tell your friends to vote. And there's a bunch of swing districts in New York, and there's districts all over the country.
Get on the
So
bus, make a
get
phone
out
call.
there.
Yeah.
Later.
See ya.